Okay, okay. So we have Hilda from Nigeria, Natizia from Zambia. Apologies. I hope I got that right. So thank you, everyone. Are there more names? Are there more people on the call? Did I miss anyone? So we've Sonda from Zambia. We had Nazar from Nigeria. Mabel from Nigeria. Tamara from Nigeria. Velocity Nigeria. Ini from Nigeria. Violet from Nigeria. Hussein Kalilo from Tanzania. Raisa from Zambia. Kitinga from Tanzania. Luce from Zambia. Idioma from Nigeria. Iwanaji from Zambia. Hilda from Nigeria. Natizia from Zambia. Tandiwe from Zambia. Adelmase. I hope I got that right. From Tanzania. Nice to have everyone in the room. I celebrate you. Thank you so much for joining. I'm so excited because this is just taking me and Yewa one step closer to achieving a united Africa. So we have so many people from different African countries in this room, and we're going to continue this dialogue right away. So I'm not the moderator for tonight's session. It's actually Smart, and I've just been trying to hold up for her to join in, but I don't see her on the call, so I'm just going to proceed, and once she's on the call, you know, I'll hand over to her. So welcome, everyone. We came here to discuss love, and we're going to be demystifying myths about love, right? And thankfully, we have these amazing men in the room to help us from their own perspective, you know, discuss this and find out what it really means, what the healthy kind of love, you know, truly means. All right, so on the program, we're going to be starting with understanding love, right? And in this session, we're going to be discussing what the healthy kind of love looks like from a man's perspective. And each panelist will share their personal definition of love and what makes it fulfilling and sustainable, right? So we're going to start with Josh. Josh, are you with me? Are you here? Can you turn on your video, please? We're going to be starting the conversation with you.
Okay, yes, I'm here.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. So we're going to be starting the conversation with you. And the question is, can you please speak on love as a safe space? What men need emotionally, right? So love as a safe space, what do men need emotionally in a relationship or in love? Please go ahead.
Emotionally, what do men need in love is something very important is freedom. Freedom for them to be themselves, freedom to express individuality without being judged, without feeling like they are not putting the best, you know. Oftentimes women will make you feel like you're doing the bare minimum, and many times that's all, you know, I'm trying. I'm really trying. And so men really need freedom to express themselves, be their individual selves, so that they don't get caught up in the relationship. And they tend to lose themselves. So maybe yes, that's what I can say. Men need freedom to express themselves.
So freedom. Anything else? So once you have freedom in a relationship, you're good. Nothing else.
Once I have freedom, I have emotional support. Yeah, emotional support is very important because men can be emotional also. Men can cry, and so. When men are going through emotional traumas, the most things that need emotional support, that would be very good. That's what love is, from my perspective.
From your perspective, awesome. Thank you. So please, are you with your notes? Please jot things down. In Nigeria, I would say we're jotting things down. So please, you know, if you have your questions, you can, you know, there'll be a segment where we'll be allowed to ask the panelists some questions. But thankfully, Smart is here. So I may need to hand over moderation to Smart. Smart, let me know if you're ready.
Yes, ma. I am ready.
Okay, we can't see you though.
Good evening, everybody.
Hello, good evening. All right, so over to you, Smart. I just asked Josh, I don't know if you were on the call, but I just asked Josh what men need emotionally, and he mentioned that men need freedom and they also need emotional support. So I'm going to go back to be part of the guests, and listen in while I let you continue with moderation. Over to you.
Is Josh, are you done talking? Is he done?
Yes, he finished before you joined. So yes, he is.
Okay, so are we still talking about understanding love from a man's perspective?
Yes, please. And we just asked Josh the first question.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ma. I don't know, is Timothy here? Has he joined us? Okay, Timothy is here. Okay, Timothy, I would want to hear from you. Let's hear from you. What do you think is the balance between love and masculinity? Vulnerability versus strength. Let's hear your opinion, please.
Okay. Thank you so much. And I'd like to share my opinion because, when you talk about masculinity, we normally means about strength that a certain man has, or the independence that he has, or sometimes emotional control. So the muscles, this is according to the society. So society define if someone is maybe emotional supportive, and he or she is not likely to fall into small problems. And when you come to connecting it with love, love is like a connection between two people. And these two people might be very deep and might share the emotions, because you cannot love someone you don't feel. Because sometimes if you're in a relationship and sometimes you don't feel like you're dating, it means you're losing the connection. So the masculinity in relationship, it's obvious, create the balance if both of the party will understand each other, will provide for one another, and also the masculinity will provide strength, because strength in love will result security. So if you and your partner are well secured with emotional strength, emotional support, and everything, actually, you're going to have very stable relationship. And also, last thing I can say, other link is if a man and a woman are good, and actually they are going to have a very powerful couple. Because if you're dating somebody, or if you're loving someone, even if you are our parents, the love that your parents give you, you must provide the same, so as to power up the love. So we all need to power up our connections with the people we love, because if you're going to lose that power, it means we're going to lose the balance. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Timothy. Thank you for sharing that. That was really, really beautiful. Tapelo, please, can you comment on how men know they have found the one? I think every woman in the house really wants to hear about this. How do you think men know how they found the one? Do you think they have the tingling feeling or this butterflies in the belly? Like, can you tell us that?
Okay, as much as the butterflies and the feelings are good and all, but as a man that has been, I would say, recently saved, I see a lot of the God part in it. So it's more than just a feeling. It's more than just you feeling a certain type of way towards a female. It needs you to consult with God, because your kingdom spouse is tied to your kingdom purpose. So if you're with the wrong person, or you pursue the wrong person without consulting with God first, it can lead to a lot of problems, and it could lead to a lot of misunderstandings, because you guys are not on the same path. So I believe in really stepping into fasting and prayer, reading your word, just really taking your time with God to know whether this person is the one for you or not, and really being thorough with it too, because you don't want to jump into something that's not for you, because it will really be damaging and it will really be a lesson, and we don't want to be learning lessons anymore. So I really believe that the God aspect of it really needs to be at the forefront of your decision making. Yes.
Okay. I think I have a question here. So when do you approach God? Is it when you already know that this person is your person? Do you like feel that this person is your person before you get to prayer, or after praying and then you are sure, okay, this is my person?
Okay, obviously now, firstly, it will be the physical, not the physical stuff, but the attraction. Obviously, you will be then
Okay.
attracted to
Yeah.
somebody or
Yeah.
somebody. And then when you've like, okay, I think I would like to pursue this further after maybe, I don't want to say getting to know the person, but I would start from as soon as you feel a certain type of way. I think that's when you should start consulting. That's when you already need to start leaning into and already asking God about whether this is what's right for you or not. Before you go any further, before you really catch serious feelings, I think start early so that you know early, so that you don't get yourself into a situation where if God says no and you're
Yeah.
6 months down the line, what do you do then? So I think start as soon as possible to know. Yeah, yeah.
Wow,
That's
thank
my
you very much. That is beautiful. I hope we are jotting though, because man, my love life is about to change. Okay, so I want to throw this question out to all of our speakers. What does a loving, supportive relationship look like for a man? I don't know, anybody can answer this. What does a loving, supportive relationship look like for a man? What do you think, in your opinion? You can tell us.
Okay, I can take a swing at it. But I think a loving and supportive relationship, as for me, in the stage where I'm in my life right now, really, like I said, I've been recently saved and I'm what you would call a radical Christian. So everything is kind of centered around God now. So
Yeah.
everything that we do kind of has to have that aspect in it, whether it's everyday life, reading the Bible together, pursuing God, going to church together. Everything has to be centered around Him and doing His will. So whether it's denying your flesh, dying to yourself, what's this? The Bible says a man must love his woman as Christ loved the church. You must be ready to die for your partner. It needs that level of selflessness to it. So I think everything will kind of have to be rooted around that, knowing that as a man, I need to be ready to die for this woman.
Yeah.
And everything should be now connected in God and in that. So the level of support, the way we see life and we go through life, it has to be around those key points, what the Bible says a man should do, how the Bible says we should conduct ourselves before we get married, counseling, just making sure that God is always the one in front and never what we want and what we desire. That's my take.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you. Timothy, can you comment on this? What's your opinion?
Okay, I think a man needs effective communication. You know, communication is a key in any kind of relationship. If you're not going to communicate with your partner, that means you're going to miss a lot of things. Like what I said earlier is love is a deep and it's a connection between two people. And real needs you guys to be, as what Tapelo is insisting, being in a guarded way, like even your spirits are now together. So we, as a man, we really need you to communicate with us, and also us, we have to communicate with you, because love must be like in a power couple, not only to one side. And also I can say men, we normally need respect over comfort. You know, a girl or a woman they normally seek for attention, but it's very difficult to see a man seeking attention. We just need to be respected because men are like head, but though is some kind of stereotypes, but men need to be respected. So I think if you're going to respect your partner, it doesn't mean to be a man, or even us, we need to respect you guys, because without respect, there's no love. And last, I can say, we need support in the encouragement. So we need to encourage one another, because, you know, as you say, love is not just about for yourself. You know, if you want to start a family, you're not starting by yourself. You're not just going to be a father, you're just going to be a mother alone. You are going to be, if you're a man, it means you're going to have a woman. So we all need to support one another. We all need to encourage one another. If someone is passing through difficulties, you're the first person. Actually, a man is in the first line to defend for his wife, and a woman is at the first defensive line to defend her man. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you. Josh, are you here? Do you have something to say?
Yes. So for me, love and support looks like, firstly, someone that understands my value chain, my religion. Be it I'm Christian, I'm Muslim, I'm Hindu. I'm supposed to have someone that supports my religion first, because it is my value chain. So we share the same values. It has to be someone that shares the same goals with me, such that we both know why we're doing what we're doing, and we know where we're going. When we both understand why we are in that relationship to start with, it helps us stay on track. It helps us support each other. And we also, it helps you be invested and be interested in what your partner is doing, what your partner is saying. Because many times, like Timothy said, men don't seek for attention. So most times men will just, give you attention, give the ladies attention, and then the ladies won't give the man attention most times. But then if you really want to, from the women, a little bit of support would be very good, like attention. I'm not gonna ask for attention, but if you can give me, that's very good. That's a plus. So yeah, goals, we should share the same goals, the same value chain, so that we don't face conflicts there on top. How do I explain to you that I wake up at 4 a.m. to pray and I don't respond to your messages? That's going to be tough for you. So you need to share the same value chain so that you're able to support each other.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you for that. That was really, really powerful. Okay, our second question here is, how do men process emotions in a relationship? I think this is actually a very, very serious one, because men tend to bottle up emotions a whole lot. So how do you think men process emotions in a relationship? Josh, please tell us. Hello, Josh, are you here? Okay, Timothy. How do men process emotion?
Okay. When you're talking about how we process our emotions, we are so different as what men process, because we are action oriented. We normally cope for ourselves. It's very hard to see a man cry, but it's very easy to see a woman crying. So we normally take our things inside. So we just only do internal processing. So sometimes a man might be in might see maybe his partner is cheating on him, and actually he just ending up killing himself because he was not able to talk to somebody else. I don't know if it's like we are not such educated or what, or this kind of being a man is affecting us. But sometimes we need to speak, but most of men, we don't like to speak. And also, as what I said, our emotions normally goes after respect. So if you're going to respect us, it means you are our first lady. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay, Josh, can we hear from you? Hello, Josh, are you there? Okay, so let's quickly look okay, Josh, you're here. Let's hear.
I don't know if you guys can see me. It's getting a little bit dark in my room, and it's very dark.
You.
So how do men process emotions? Like Timothy said, it's very hard for men to come out in the emotions
Yeah.
and be vulnerable, because then we grew up in a society where men should not be vulnerable. At least the mothers believe men should not be vulnerable. A man's supposed to be strong. A man's supposed to don't lag, But then how do we express emotions? I think just like Timothy said, we are action oriented. So it is up to the women to really just tell a man's actions towards them. That's how we show our emotions most times.
Okay. Okay. Thank you
Mhm.
so much. Thank you for that. I don't know if
Why
you should take a
I want
few.
to come from home because if I come from home, I can come 2 days. I'll stay 2 days there. So it's not like I'll be going home every time. You
Who is
understand?
this?
But
Can you
I know
mute?
it's not like you got me 20 people. Some
Oh,
days,
please,
if
can you mute this person?
Apologies, I already muted her. It's okay. We can go
Okay,
ahead.
man. Okay, let's read some comments. Easy said, a healthy relationship to me means we are to love, care for, encourage, edify, exhort, welcome, and be kind to one another. Okay, that's deep. A healthy relationship, Brahim Innocent, a healthy relationship for me, what it looks like to be specific is one where freedom of expression is present. For some men, being their authentic self is somewhat difficult in a relationship. Okay. Okay. Who else? Razor said, Tapelo is right. Love is easier when you pray and chase the right one. Yes. That is really, really true. Okay, so our next question is, what are the key elements of a healthy love? Do you think that there is such a thing as loving someone rightly? What do you think is the key element of a healthy love? Please let me hear from you, Tapelo. I don't know if you're here. I can't see you. Tapelo, let's hear from you real quick. What are the key elements of a healthy love?
Okay, I would say open communication is very big.
Okay.
Trust, God at the center. What else can I say? I think for me, it's mostly just it revolves around that, because everything just kind of huddles around all those key points, whether it's conflict resolution or day-to-day life. It has to have communication in it. It has to have God in it. It has to have trust in it, or else I feel like everything else just crumbles from that point on.
Wow. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Communication is really, really key. Josh, what do you think? What are the key elements you think? What are the key elements of a healthy love? Josh, please, let's hear from you real quick.
Okay, so the key elements of a healthy love is, first of all, like Tapelo, I'm a Christian, I'm like radical. So God should be at the center first. And then self-control, it's very important for me. Emotional intelligence. Also, one very important thing is someone who's able to communicate. I don't like it when women claim they're nonchalant. Here we must chalant. In this relationship, everybody has to chalant. And so you must be able to communicate. You must be compassionate.
Yeah.
Those are some of the elements for me for
Mm.
healthy love. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. My take home is here we must challenge. So everybody please take note. Timothy, are you here? Can you tell us what are the key elements for you? We
Okay,
must
so
challenge.
the
Yes.
key element for me, as what my two fellow brothers said, concerning communication, conflict solution, and I can add, like, we must have independence and togetherness. So as I'm trying to reflect on what I've said earlier, like, most of us, we normally fail in relationship because we normally take it in a one-sided. We are not making it as it of us. Yeah? We have to create something that is of balance. So I think one of the criteria is that balance. And also, as what I said earlier, is support and encouragement. Sometimes we need to appreciate on what our fellows are not like our partners are doing. It's you can easily find a person from outside of the family is congratulating you, man, after achieving a certain award, and you as a wife you're just remaining silent. So we are supposed to give gratitude and also need to appreciate for what our partners are. And also, I can say this as the last point, as a healthy kind of love must be consistent and effortful. We are not supposed to love and stop, but we are supposed to be consistently on what we are doing. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much. Josh, you want to say something?
I'm glad that Apello said. I'm glad that Apello said something about consistency. It's very important. So even for you, for us as men, and even for you as women, take note of the consistency. Consistency is key, and above consistency is effort. Effort. If a man really wants to be the man for you, they will. If they're not showing any effort in whatsoever, then just know that you gotta run, sis. Also, you boys, you gotta run if she's not showing any effort. So effort above all else, consistency. It must all be there. It has to make sense. Make it make sense. You can't be gone the whole day and come back and say you are busy. I don't believe in that. So yeah, communication, consistency, efforts. That's very good.
Oh, thank you very much, Josh, for highlighting those things again. Wow, this is going smoothly. Please, I hope we are taking note of consistency, togetherness, efforts. Wow, this is beautiful. Okay, let's quickly go over to love and ambition. Can they coexist? Wow. Okay, we want to know that the modern women and the modern men, how do they find harmony in love and career? Can these two coexist? Can partners chase career and still pursue or have a beautiful love life? Okay, on this, let's hear from Kelechi and Michael. I don't know if Kelechi is here. Kelechi, please come on and answer us. So we want to hear from you.
Yeah, hi guys. So yeah, I mean, shout out to everyone that spoke, that's been speaking as well. So I think, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, so I think love and having a career can exist because I mean we are all meant to like work and do something, like for men, let me talk from the men's point of view, right? We're meant to provide, right? So, and as much as you are in love, right, you should be bringing, something to the table in regards to provision. Like you can actually have a good career for yourself and also love your woman. And I feel like it goes the same way for a lady as well. Like people say, I want to be a housewife. I feel like, see, if you want to be a housewife, like what if something goes wrong? What if your husband is not in the right state in his work and everything, like do something for yourself, right? Have a career or have something you think you enjoy. It might be a business, right? So I feel like it's very important, but it's not like compulsory because some people just don't really have much to do with their careers, which I don't know why. But I feel like having that go hand in hand is very possible, right? Because if you look at it, right, from people's marriages I've seen, like my parents, family members, they all had like full-time jobs, they all had careers, and they made it happen, they made it work. It just depends on how much time you put into loving your significant other. Because if you say your job is 9 to 5, right, like you should obviously know that by 6 you should be home, or 7. Or if you're coming late, you inform your spouse like, okay, something came up, like, make time for cute dates. If you guys want to hang out like on a Saturday, and as much as everyone is busy, I think people should learn to at least chip in a couple of time for the significant other, just to balance the whole thing. Because the
Yeah.
thing that happened with this coach of Man City, that his wife divorced him because he was so into his career. What's his name again? The Man City coach. I've forgotten his name anyways. Yeah, so his wife divorced him and said he spending so much time in his career as a coach. And after 30 years of marriage, and I'm like, okay, you didn't know this was an issue before you guys got married? Or is it because, I don't know. But the whole point is, I think he on his own side should probably make more time, but I know it's not easy managing his career as a coach and his wife. And for some reason, it's debatable. People will be like, okay, she wants to cash out because she has made a lot of money. Different topic for another time, right? That goes with the whole prenup thing and everything, but we don't enter that time. But I feel like balancing the whole thing is very needed. And as much as you're super busy, everyone can be busy. Even God rested on Sunday, on the 7th day. So you should try and make time for your significant other, in as much as you're busy with your career. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Before you go, please, do you think that men are intimidated by successful women? Because I think I've heard this go around for a while now. So what's your opinion on that?
Yeah, that's a very sensitive topic, man. I'm not gonna lie. Because yeah, the men's ego is crazy. Like, I won't lie to you, like, even if you're an Igbo guy from Nigeria,
I think we lost him at this very important, critical moment. We might
So
wait for
maybe we hear from Michael, right?
yes. Yes.
Mhm.
Michael, are you in the room?
yeah, sorry, my internet went off. Can you hear me? My bad.
Okay.
Okay, he's
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. So what I was saying is, missed my train of thought. So yeah, intimidated, right? So a guy can be, if he's not putting his ego under control. Because I feel like if I marry my wife and my wife is the richest woman in the world, I feel like the two becomes one, right? We all become one. So in as much as she's the richest woman in the whole universe, I still deserve my respect as a man. Like, like you, there's this saying that my money is our money and her money is her money. It's kind of finicky. We can talk about that later. But the whole point is, I feel like respect should be there for both parties. She should be able to respect the man that he is still the head of the house, and the man should be able to respect the woman that she is his wife. And in as much as she earns more than him, he should still be humble as well as the man and do what he has to do as a man to provide. Then we can talk about the salary later.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank
Sorry
you.
to interject. I'm so sorry to use my veto power to interject. But Kelechi, does this mean that your answer is yes? Men are intimidated by successful women, or no, men are not intimidated by successful women? Please, if you don't mind me stretching on that.
But I respect that. Yeah, some men can be, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I've seen people that, even physically, like I've met a lady that, like, damn, this guy's rich, probably richer than me, but I mean, I'm still a man. I still put my swag on. I'll still do what I have to do. I still carry myself as a man because in as much as she has a lot of money or she is some rich woman, some rich lady, you still do the basics, right? Deep down, you are like, can I take her to the best places to have dinner or take her to this or that or do this for her? Those that you have this whole ego is a red flag for her as well, right? She knows you're not as rich as her, 100%. She knows you're not on her level. She's a 10 and you're like a 2, right? Or a 1 maybe. But if you do the basics and just stay humble and just do what you have to do as a man, I feel like she respects that more than you just trying to be like, nah, you can't, maybe let's say, for example, you want to get something, right? And she says she'll pay for it because you can't afford it, but you're here doing, does money make you a 2? In what sense, Siama, what do you mean by does money make you a 2?
So sorry. I'm so sorry for being this person, and I know I was supposed to wait. So I'm just dropping my Q&A, so you don't have to answer it now. It will
Okay,
be
all right,
answered
cool.
later.
Yeah, okay,
But
just wrap it up. Yeah, just
yeah,
wrap
so
it.
I don't want to keep doing this. So I'm just dropping it,
Okay,
my
okay,
question ahead
okay,
of time. So you don't have to
okay,
answer it now. Ignore me.
okay,
Ignore
no
me.
worries. Okay,
Yeah, but I'm
yeah.
just saying that money doesn't necessarily make you a 2, right? So because you said she could be a 10, and then you could be
Okay.
then you could be a
So
2.
yeah,
But money, you just ignore us in the chat box. Let us just rant our
okay,
rants. Please
okay,
go
okay.
ahead with your
Yeah, I know, right? So some guys can be, I'm not gonna lie to you, I think I have been low-key intimidated. Like I won't say intimidated, I just feel like more like this babe, I just can't afford the lifestyle. Yo, one more thing again is the lifestyle. So if she comes into a relationship or into a friendship with, I need to be traveling to, let's say, Monaco Island every 2 months, and you're here taking Uber every day to work. I don't know how that's going to work, bro. Like you apply wisdom. Even the Bible says wisdom is profitable for the words. I've forgotten that part. But the whole point is just apply wisdom and know that you can't afford this lifestyle and be humble and live, right? Don't be like, I want to get the biggest. You go into loan, maybe Pampe will come for you or some OPay or something, or just loan folks because you just run into debt. So yeah, just be humble. And if
Okay,
you
okay, I have a lot of questions though, but I guess we just hold on for now. Michael, please tell us. What do you think?
I'm not sure Michael is in the room yet,
Oh,
but
okay.
Josh had his hands up, so probably he wants to say something. We can let him speak.
All right,
I'll move
Josh.
to the next question.
Josh,
On the
talk to us. Okay.
on the part of men being intimidated by women, successful women, that's true. Especially it goes down to not only at the point when you're about to get married or you're looking for someone to marry, but then when you are even just relationships, boyfriend, girlfriend type of thing. You want to date this girl, but then this girl has this type of lifestyle that's just all out. It's you've got an iPhone 7, and this girl has an iPhone 16 Pro Max. What do you do there? It's very intimidating, and you suburbs lives in a duplex, a very big house. Certain things, such things, But then, as a man, men are supposed to be very in the head, and then because women are very emotional human beings, that's where you have to be wise and sharp in the head. And so this is just a call for you, also women, that men can be very wise in the head and sharp. And so when you are going out and someone approaches you and probably you think they are less of you, um, like that's not my standard, I can do better. I don't know if women think of that, but then men do think, okay, that's out of my league. You just need to be very smart, be very, very wise as a man. And then also the way God has created a man and a woman, and so naturally, it comes naturally. So money does not make you a two. It's you being a man. If you're able to execute dominance and if you're able to command respect, command is maybe in lack of a better term, but if you're able to get respect, you're able to be the man, just be the man. So my friends, that just be the man, you know, and women automatically just naturally, women will respect you. Women will not look at you for your money. Women will not look at you for your clothes. But if you're able to be wise and you're sharp and you're just a man, women will just be there naturally.
Wow. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I got something. Command respect. Very important. Okay, let's throw an open question now. Please, can men truly support their partner's ambitions without feeling overshadowed? This is an open question. I don't know. Just spoke. Timothy, what do you think? Can men really
Yes. Okay. Pardon?
can
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
men support?
Yes, I didn't get the question. Can men support?
Timothy, can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Okay, my network's connected. So did you get a question?
No.
I said, can men truly support their partner's ambition without feeling overshadowed?
Yes, actually, to my opinion, I can say it's yes, because as what I personally define love as a journey of two people. So, and it's very good for a man to support his wife, and also a woman must support her man. So, to my side, my answer is straight yes.
Okay, straightforward like that. Okay, thank you. Isioma, I don't know if Michael is here. Okay, I don't know who is going to answer this question. Maybe I should just try openly like that. Thriving together without ego clashes, power couples. Can we talk about that? Thriving together without ego clashes. I think Kelechi tried to answer this question in a way, but not like fully. Is Kelechi here? Hello, can someone hear me?
Yes, we can. I don't know. Kelechi might not be here, but
Okay.
just to shed more light on the question, we had just talked about the fact that men can get intimidated by successful women. So how do we thrive together without ego clashes? Right? That's what this question is about. Like, so how do we do it? You're successful, I'm successful, or you're working towards your success and I am working toward my success. How do we work together without ego clashes? And like you said, Kelechi already answered that question a bit, but it would be nice to hear from probably Tapelo. We haven't heard him talk in a while, how he thinks this can work.
Tapelo, are you here? Can you?
Yes, I'm here. Can you please just repeat the question?
Okay, we talked about if men get intimidated by successful women, all right? So we want to know if couples, partners can thrive together without anyone, like partners pursuing their careers, their business, doing their thing. Can they thrive without ego clashes? without anyone feeling intimidated or anything?
So from my side, I think it's possible that we can both thrive because I'm a man that likes to get spoiled. So for me, it makes sense that everyone should be doing their own thing. We all have ambitions. We all have things we strive for. So I believe that we should be, at least be given the chance to do what we've been meant to do. I mean, we all have a kingdom purpose, right? We all have talents and abilities that the Lord has given us. So I'd like for each and every one of us to use them to the best of our abilities for as long as we feel like we should. So I don't believe in standing in the way of your partner. It just doesn't exist for me.
Okay, so in general, how do you think power couple works?
I feel like bringing out the best in each other and doing it to the glory of the Lord. So whatever we partake in, we do it with grace, we do it with the glory of God in mind. So everything that we do needs to be for him and his kingdom and to advance his kingdom. So it really for me is mostly just making the most of our talents and what we've been given and just running with it and always keeping God at the center of it and making sure that people know that it's not by my strength that I do this, but because the Lord has allowed me to do it. Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that. Michael, you are welcome. We've waited for you for the longest. Please, can we have you here? Can you talk to us about power couple? Or maybe you should just start by telling us briefly if men feel intimidated by really what is it called, women that are successful and thriving in their career. Please tell us.
All right, hi. Please let me know if you can hear me.
We can't hear you.
Hi. Let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. Sorry for joining late. I was coming in straight from the office. I guess I should introduce myself first. For everyone on the call. My name is
Can you be
Michael.
more audible?
And we can't see you, actually.
I
Can
unfortunately
you be more audible and please come on if you can?
Okay, give me a second, please. Let's see how I can fix that.
And then, so you prayed this prayer.
Listen to the prayer.
No, I know it.
Mm.
You sent it to me. Did you pray this prayer?
I prayed it.
And then you started feeling this.
All right, can you?
Not this.
I'm not sure I'll be able to turn on my camera. Maybe by the time the next question comes around, I'll fix that. Or you can wait and maybe go around to someone else and I'll fix that. And,
Okay, just we can hear you. Sorry.
all right, thank you. So again, my name is Michael. I am a lead software engineer. Been a professional for close to 10 years now. That's about me. So your question was, in summary, if men are intimidated by successful women, right?
Yeah.
So I think in my own personal experience that more often than not, the answer is yes.
Okay.
And this is not some sort of indictment on men. Objectively, if you interact with someone who has more status than you, there's a bit of difference or reference that you might want to assign to said person. But I understand that we're looking at this in the context of relationships. So yes, it is possible. However, there are, again, men who it doesn't matter to them. I think that if you're looking at this as a woman and you interact with a man who is intimidated by your status, there is nothing you can do to fix that.
Bantu.
Hello.
We can hear you.
Oh, okay. There seems to be some feedback. Right. So I was saying that if as a woman you meet a man that's intimidated by your status, there is nothing you can do to fix that. You do not need to shrink yourself. You do not need to hide some side of yourself or some version of yourself, because if you're going to be going into a relationship, you want to go into the relationship with your complete self, not with some part of yourself folded away in the wardrobe or in the cupboard somewhere. So whoever it is that you're going to be partnering with should be able to deal with the full version of you. And by deal with, I don't mean that it's some sort of altercation. I mean that they are able to interact with the full version of you. Everything, the strong parts of you, the parts of you that need support, the parts of you that need to be listened to, every other version of you. So back to the question, can men be intimidated by successful women? Yes. Should men be intimidated by successful women? No. But as a woman, what do you do when you meet a man who is intimidated? You do not need to shrink yourself. Like, someone who is interested in you should build up the confidence, build up the skills to be able to meet you, interact with you, and manage that relationship. So that's my answer.
Wow, thank you very much for that. Okay, last question here is, what are the biggest turn-offs for men when dating a highly driven woman? That really ambitious woman that you're looking for, what you want to be with, what is that one turn-off for you?
So before you continue, can I say something in the previous question before?
Okay.
We need to understand that ego involvement in relationships can be there, but then we need to understand that we're two different people coming in to do this relationship thing, two different people with different personalities, different traits. And then when we decide to be in a relationship, we choose to work together. The Bible says that two cannot work together unless they agree. So even when we are building our careers, we're doing these different things, unless we agree to work together in one faith, in one hope, in one aim, then I don't think ego involvement can be there. We need to be each other's biggest support. So if your man or your woman is not your biggest cheerleader, is not your biggest support, then that's where ego involvement can come in. So as a man or as a woman, towards being your partner's biggest support, your partner's biggest cheerleader, that gives us a sense of, okay, if this is happening, it makes me happy. If it happens for this other person, it makes me happy. So maybe that's how we can kill the ego involvement.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you, Josh, for sharing. All right, Michael.
Sorry, is that question directed at me?
The question?
Yes. Was that directed at me?
Your biggest turn-off. Your biggest turn-off when dating a highly driven woman.
Okay. I don't. Maybe this is not a turn-off, but more often than not, I find that, and I'm going to be speaking from personal experience here, so maybe this is not general knowledge or general experience. But I find that sometimes people who are highly successful, they bring the attitude that's required for their successful career into a relationship. When you're chasing a successful career, sometimes well, not sometimes, more often than not, you are aggressive because you need aggressiveness to chase your goals. Sometimes you don't take no for an answer. You don't let people shut you down. And some of these character traits, they are great for being a successful person in the career. They're great for getting ahead. They're great for being a leader. But that's where those skills can be applied. Some of those skills don't carry over, they don't carry over well into a relationship. So one of my biggest turnoffs, I'd say, is when a successful person tries to bring the same bossy demeanor that they use at work to be successful
Okay.
into the relationship.
Yeah.
It might create a rift, because I'm not saying I'm superior or I'm inferior in the relationship, but when the relationship is not about one person bossing the other around, it's a partnership, which means both parties have equal say in that relationship. So yeah, that's what is my turn off.
All right, thank you. Tapelo, please, can you tell us what is your biggest turnoff when dating a highly, what is it called, ambitious woman or highly driven woman?
Is that for me now? I guess what I can say, maybe it would be that, maybe I think the only thing I can say is if she ever tried to rub it in my face that maybe she is earning more than me or doing better, I guess it would be that, even though I'm not a very emotional person, but it would make me feel a certain type of way if that were to happen. But other than that, I don't think I have much turnoffs, to be honest. I'm fairly simple, but I think it would be, yeah, for me, it would be that the kind of always playing that card, always bringing it up, always, yeah, I think that would be an issue for me.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you for sharing. Okay, Josh and Timothy, this question is for you specifically. Do you prefer women who need them? Like, do you prefer a woman that needs you or something? I don't know if I'm asking this question correctly. Isioma, can you hear me? Do you prefer a woman who needs you?
Okay, so I think the question is, do men prefer women who need them?
Okay. Yes.
Yes, because in most cases, a lot of women are independent, right? So we're just doing our own thing. If you go to a restaurant with a guy, I've seen people that do it. So when they go to restaurants with a guy, they will now bring out their wallet to pay. As in how? Like I will not bring out my own wallet to pay. But I'm just saying that. Is it a thing, really? Do men like women that need them?
That need
Is it,
them.
yeah. Or can a woman just be independent, do her own thing, buy her own shawarma, buy her own ice cream? How does it make a man feel when a woman is completely independent? Or is it a thing, for men to like admire or like women who need them?
Yeah. Okay. Josh. You're up.
For men, it gives us if I'm able to provide for a woman and everything that she wants, I'm able to give her what she wants. Not everything, because I can't give everything. whatever I'm able to provide in that moment, it gives us this feeling, just like, oh, okay, this woman. But then that's very good. Yes, that's very good. It gives us this feeling of, yeah, I can be there for my woman, I can do this for my woman, and she can depend on me. But then the concept of needing a man is just too much, if you ask me, because then for you as a woman, anything can happen in relationships, and then if you really need a man, there will be a time when the man is not going to be able to provide for you, and because you, okay, he failed, he didn't give me what I wanted, he obviously didn't. Men don't want to feel like they have failed, and so it's not all the time that men are going to provide, but when they can, they should. But when you need them for everything, and when they can't, you are going to end up feeling like they failed, and yet they haven't failed. They're not just able to provide in that moment. It also comes back to just relationships in general and the emotional aspect of it. It is not okay for either women or men to need the other person, because then your whole existence is now wrapped around that other person existing. It's like if they're not happy today, you're not happy. Also, if they choose to wake up in a mood, you are also going to be in that mood that they choose to wake up in. But so you're not going to exist independently. You're not going to exist emotionally independently. Your emotions, your thought processes, everything is going to depend on that other person, and that's not good. It's a very toxic place to be. So needing somebody is not good. Instead, I want you to want me and not need me. Yeah.
Wow. I want you to see, Josh, you've just been dropping lines
I'm
and
telling
lines
you.
and lines. In fact, right after this call, I'm going to go over the video again and just write out all of the lines you dropped. Awesome. So men actually want to be wanted, but not necessarily needed.
And not
That's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Want over need. So we're gonna. So ladies, please just have your questions in the chat box, because we have just 2 or 3 more questions before we go into the Q&A. We want you to ask your questions, and we want you to point at the person you want to ask. You can say, Mr. Josh, you answer these questions, right? Feel free to do that, right? But we just have a few more questions, and I wanted Timothy, can you please share your thoughts on that? Just briefly, do men prefer women who need them? Because some men actually thrive on women needing them, So I just want a different perspective on, do men prefer women who need them compared to independent women who can handle their own business and so on?
Okay, thank you so much again. And actually, I'm going to support my brother Josh from what he has said, that it's not good having a woman who actually needs you, because you're not going to create it will be like a dependence mode and not independence. So we both needs each other. So we have to create that mutual relationship between a husband and a wife, or a boyfriend and a girlfriend. So as someone here in the chat box, he said that wants over need. So I think we need actually I need a girl who wants me, not me. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for making that really specific. All right. Let's ask Michael and Kelechi, please. Very important. What makes a man truly commit to a successful woman? Michael or Kelechi? What makes a man truly commit to a successful woman, in your opinion, please? Michael, are you with us? Okay.
Yes, I am. I don't think the answer to that question is straightforward. I think out of all the questions, this is probably the one where the answer varies from one man to another. Because people go into relationship needing different things. I know we just talked about need versus wants. As a small anecdote, I'm on the need side of things, but not in the way that it has been defined. I believe that the ultimate version of a relationship is fusion between two people. So one should not one should not be able to exist without the other. When the partnership has reached its highest level, then it can't be defined as needing the other person competing with. But that's an aside. So I guess what I would want, and I'm going to answer this question from my perspective, what I would want from a partner who is successful, who happens to be successful. For me, it really doesn't matter whether or not. It's great if the partner is, but what I would want from a partner who happens to be successful is the sense of partnership. That is, we are going into this together as a united front. So we were once two separate people. Now we are coming together to build something. Whatever it is that we're going to build, it really doesn't matter. We want to build a family, we want to build an empire of businesses. We just want to build a very healthy, strong relationship where we share things, we travel together, whatever the need is for the man in person. For me, what I need is a partner someone whom I can count on to do the other things. So there are things
Yeah.
that I can do and they can handle the other things. At any point in time, if I'm waking up from sleep and say, oh, we need you to do this, don't worry, my wife handles it. Because we are so in tune with each other that we understand. We're so in tune with each other, we have a goal, we understand what we're doing. And so we are able to, if you swap any one of us out, we'll still be able to achieve the same goal. Like, so that's what I need. I need partnership.
Okay. So a successful woman that is able to partner with you in the relationship. Okay. 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 That makes sense. All right. Thank you very much. Kelechi, please can you share with us what is your thought on this?
Please, could you come again? I missed the question. I'm on my way to the gym, so I lost track. What was the question about?
What makes a man truly commit to a successful woman?
So that's a very interesting one. What makes a man fully commit to a successful woman? So I feel like, from my point of view, you have to properly understand her and know that, okay, whoever I'm with, like this woman I'm with right now is successful. So she's probably been through a lot, right? And you as yourself, you as a man need to actually like have your shit together. Meaning, you know that this woman, I don't want to sound so worldly, but she can easily leave you and dump your ass and go for another man she wants to, because she has the money. Frankly speaking, people do that now. Now it's no longer the man doing the dumping. A lady can dump you if you don't get your shit together. So what I'm trying to say is, you should just get your head together, be humble, be respectful, and understand that it can happen to anybody. Like like I said, naturally as a man, we have this ego already by default. So it's just a really difficult thing to now be with a successful woman and committed, sort of. So it's like you are being humbled because of money. So you try to avoid that narrative so that it looks like, oh, because she get money past you or she's richer than you, that's why you are committed. If it's the other way, you probably would following other women. So you have to actually get your shit together and be like, no, I genuinely like this woman, not because of the money or because she's successful, but because I genuinely want to be with her. And the two becomes one, like I said. So the man is the head and the woman is the neck. So without the neck, the head is useless. So it's more like, if she's not with you, you guys can work, the partnership can work. So at the end of the day, the money is still everybody's money, or the success, everybody's success at the end of the day. So being humble, being respectful, and just be hardworking as well. So I think that would help you even stay more committed and love the woman you're with.
So Kelechi, I think you missed the question. It's what will make you Kelechi? Let's assume now, Otedola's daughter Copy, right? She's actively looking for a husband, right? So imagine that, you guys bump into each other and then you guys now, start get things going, right? How do you now then decide to commit to Copy? Like, what is it for you that would be a deal breaker or a deal closer?
I mean, Copy is one of the daughter of the richest man in Nigeria. So that's a tough one for me, man. I mean, I'll be humble. I have to be committed. I don't.
Kelechi, I'm so sorry for laughing. We are such a Nigerian guy.
I'm sorry.
Let me say something, Kelechi. Thing is, what will she do?
Okay, continue.
Okay, what with the woman, the successful woman, what is it that she's going to have that would make you to say, okay, I am ready to commit to her?
Okay,
like, aside just being successful, there should be something else.
Yeah, I think respect is key for me. Humility is key. Respect, being kind. Aside your success, you should be kind, and you should be homely, right? A lot of people have success and they don't really have time to be homely. Like homely, just be a nice person as well. Be kind. And respect is key because, even the Bible says, men love your wife, and I think it's women respect your husband, something like that. But the whole point is men crave respect so much that, and as much as you're successful, if you don't have that respect towards your man, he probably won't commit to you. So I think that's a straightforward answer.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm going to throw this out to everybody. How do men view submission, and what does it mean in a modern relationship? How do men view submission? How do they see submission? And in this modern age, with this dating now, what does it mean to you? Josh, are you here?
So everybody has to have a go at this question. So please
Okay.
just prepare your questions ahead of time. But Michael, you can go first.
Okay.
All right then, thank you. That word has been the source of controversy in recent times.
Yeah. Has.
Okay, I will continue to use the word, but I will redefine it. For me, the submission is not to am I ruffling some feathers here? But the submission is not to the other partner, but to the relationship. The relationship is greater than both of you. The relationship is the thing that you are building, right? The relationship does not work if either of you isn't in it, right? What you are submitting to is the success of the relationship, right? So that's how I choose to see it. In putting in the context of relationships today, and inserting myself in this question as what would I see as submission? What I would see as submission is really simple. Whatever it is that you want to do, whatever it is that you need to do, whether it's something you want to do yourself or if you need my support, which I would imagine would be the case more often than not, we need to discuss it. We need to have a conversation about it and prepare united front about it before said action is taken. So in this case, you are submitting your vision or your plan to the relationship. It's like, I saw this, I like this, or I'm interested in this, or this is a dream that I've always had. I know we've probably never discussed this before, but I feel like I'm at a place where I can start pursuing this dream now. And because we're in a relationship together, and I would like your support, I'm talking to you about it. What do you think? How should this go? And then we have a conversation about it. Not to say, no, you can't do this. I'm the head of the house. You do what I say. I don't do that. I don't think that there's a place for that in a modern relationship.
Yeah.
So no, I do not subscribe to that. But both partners owe it to the other partner to submit their plan, their goal, their vision in the relationship with the aim of gaining a united front. What is the purpose of pursuing a vision when you are in a relationship and the other person in the relationship does not support the vision, either because you did not give them the opportunity to support the vision or because they avidly disagree because you don't share the same perspective on that vision? So you need to submit the vision, the plan, the goal to the partner, and then you guys can agree on something. So that is how I see submission in a modern relationship. I most definitely do not see it as, all right, I'm the husband, you have to stay in the house, don't go anywhere, do what I say, otherwise I send you back to your father's house. No, I think that died many years ago, and we should not pray for its resurrection.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing that. All right. Should we hear from Timothy? Timothy, what is your view on modern relationship, submission in modern relationship? What is your view?
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, by connecting the modern era which we are currently are, and the concept of submission, actually, men really like to be respected, and women are not supposed to be subordinate to men in the fact that they might be even violated. But for what I know concerning health kind of love, it must be submissive. If you are positive, it's very important to date someone who's negative. So not both of you guys, if everybody's high, then both of you, you're just getting high. So I think it's very important to submit ourselves to the people we love, because even as I think even if you go to the scriptures, so being submissive to God means you are creating more windows of blessing to Him, and He's going to bless you more and more and more. So even to our parents, if you are becoming rude, that means you're not going to get those essential needs. So for healthy kind of relationship, doesn't matter who, but if you're a man, you must be submissive to your girl. And also, if you're a woman, then you are supposed to be submissive. Because if you act arrogant or against your partner, that does not create what we all want to create, that kind of healthy or that kind of stable relationship. Because we are not just dating for fun, or we are not just being in a relationship so as to satisfy our needs. As biologically, we have different kind of needs. So you might reach an age that you want to be married, you want to marry. But if you're in a marriage, or if you're dating right now, it's very important. Even if you're a boy, right? You're a boy or you're a man, saying sorry, it's very important. Sorry solve everything. And you're not just saying sorry just because you have said it, but say it and mean it. The thing that you have done right now, you are not supposed to repeat it again. So I think it doesn't only to women to be submissive to their men, but also as to our girls. Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing that. Okay, Josh, you want to say something? Let's hear from you.
Yes, so submission in modern day.
And that's what he's working.
Relationships is first we need to understand that
Josh, we can't hear you.
in a way, submission is you try. Is it breaking now?
Yeah.
Is it working? Is it working better now?
It's better now, yes.
Okay. So it's better now. Please make thumbs up. Show me a thumbs up if you're able to hear me well.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so we need to understand that submission in the Bible says that women submit to your husbands. So submission naturally should be it should be in the Bible says it should be from women to men, but then in modern days submission should be both ways. In that also we need to understand that submission means that you trust somebody, you put your whole trust in them, in their lead. It's a woman telling a man that whatever you do, whatever you choose to do, your decisions, everything you choose to make, I will follow. You are the leader and I'm just following behind. Also for us men, submitting means we are able to lead wisely. We are able to lead with so much wisdom, with so much grace, such that the people that the women that are following us are not just submitting to us blindly, are not submitting to somebody that does not have a vision, somebody that does not have this for future.
Yes, your network is really bad.
Somebody does not
know what
they're doing. So it's for us men to make sure that our submission to the women is knowing. Okay, let me try log out and come back again and see if it's gonna be better.
All right, please do. All right, Tapelo, please let's hear from you. What is your take on this? Tapelo.
Sorry, I just had to connect my charger, so please just repeat the question.
Okay, how do men view submission, and what does it mean to you in this modern age of relationship or dating?
Okay. For me, submission kind of looks like, let me see. Okay. It's like my brother Josh said before, it goes both ways, right? If you want a woman to submit to you, you need to be, firstly, you need to be worth someone submitting to. It shouldn't just be, oh, the Bible says so. No, you need to be someone worth submitting to. So your leadership should be worth submitting to.
Yeah.
And as well, it's not just your word is final, but your woman is your partner. She's your other half. So it means you need to consider everything she says. Because other half, whatever you are not. So you need to be able to submit under the authority that there's not, you're not going to know everything. There's some parts of you that need work, that things that you just don't understand, or as a man, you just might not see it, but your partner does. So it's when it comes to those kinds of things where we both need to be able to sit down and be submissive towards one another. And submission kind of looks like, okay, I'm gonna put it like this. A woman should only submit to a man that submits to God. It's a hierarchy. So if he does not submit to God, he will definitely lead you astray. So it needs to be a man where, as a woman, you feel, or you know, or you've seen the fruits of his submission to God, the way he approaches life, the way he treats you, the way he takes care of you. Is this a man worth submitting to? Because it's for me kind of a thing where you have to prove. I don't want to say prove, but it's almost like prove that you're worth submitting to. You don't just, as we enter this relationship, you feel like you deserve my submission. No, you need to show me that you respect me. You need to show me that you respect God and the things that God stands for, and whether you stand for them or not. And that is already moving in the right direction for a woman to feel like she needs to submit. And same vice versa. As a man, is this a woman that puts God first? Is she a woman that is after God's own heart? Is she worth lowering your guard? Because as a man, normally out in the world, things are a bit hectic. So you always have your guard up the whole time. So is she worth lowering your guard for? Is she worth being vulnerable with? Can you submit to her femininity? Those kinds of things. So I think that's my take on submission.
Thank you so much. We got a whole lot from this. Thank you for sharing. Josh, are you back?
Yes, I am. I am back. I hope the network is better now. Yes, so just like Tapelo said, I guess that's what I was trying to say. You need to, even in as much as you are submitting as a woman, submit to an authority that submits to God. A man that knows what they're doing, a man that is wise, a man that is graceful. And then your submission also as a man to the woman is you being wise, is being graceful, and you know what you're doing. You want to lead the women in the gutters, so you need to lead with wisdom and grace that is given to us by God. So yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Network was
Was my
breaking, but I
network
think
breaking
we got
again?
everything that you said. Thank you for sharing. I have a whole lot of questions. This is question time. I hope we have our questions already now. Isioma, over to you.
Oh, yes. So, yes, thank you so much, Smart. Thank you, everyone that has spoken. We do not have a lot of time left. I usually would always like to keep the time. So we have 20 minutes to the end of this program. So we're going to do like a 15 minutes Q&A. So if you have your questions, you can raise your hand or just drop it in the chat and I'll read out your question. You can direct the question to one of the speakers, or, oh, wow, don't we have questions? I don't see any hands up. You have a contribution, Brahim Innocent. Okay. Hi, Brahim. Okay, go ahead. You can unmute your mic and speak.
Okay, first of all, thank you so much. I saw the post about this meeting on Joshua's Instagram and I just had to join. Real quick, I don't want to eat into anyone else's time. I loved each and every one of the contributions that came through. I just really wanted to contribute on independent women and whether it's possible to have a very healthy relationship with them. I feel like when it comes to the issue of independent women and men coexisting, I think we also have to understand that there's a role for both parties to play, especially when it comes to the men, right? Because if you're a man and you're going out with someone who's independent or someone who is aggressive when it comes to them succeeding, you have to understand that that passion comes from the historical background where most women were suppressed and told not to be overachievers and leave everything to the men. And then as a woman, also, you also need to understand that you're dealing with a man whose factory reset mode is to provide for the family, to be the one who earns higher. And now he's with someone who does that for him, and it can make him feel intimidated. So it's your duty as a woman in that kind of relationship dynamic to understand that I don't have to flaunt my success. And it's not supposed to be there as well. You're not supposed to flaunt your success in a way that belittles him. And also, as a man, being in a relationship where your woman is independent and can achieve certain things on her own, I feel you also have to as a man, actually, you have to understand that your duty as a provider, your duty as a protector, your duty as a defender, it doesn't cease because your woman earns more than you. So I feel like when it comes to an independent woman and the whole issue of submission, it's just a whole crazy dynamic that would require a whole lot of discussion. But basically, these were my thoughts around this. And also in submission, just real quick, also in submission, I feel like when it comes to submission, we have to understand that submission is not there to scare, fear, or intimidate, but rather it is for the woman to show honor and also respect. Because when a woman is submitting, she's not saying that I'm less than, I'm this and that. She is saying, I trust your authority, I trust your leadership, and I'm giving you room to operate in this relationship. So basically, that's what I had. Love the conversation. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Very insightful. Thank you so much. So quickly, we have a couple of more questions. One actually, and then Raisa wants to ask a question. I think she may need to unmute her mic, but let me ask this. Let me read out the question in the chat box first. I have a question to Brother Timothy and Brother Tapelo. When both parties are in conflict with each other and each party wants what they want, so who should let go of their thoughts first so that the relationship can be peaceful? So Timothy and Tapelo. So Timothy, you can go first, and then Tapelo can also answer the question as well. Oh, sorry, not Timothy. Pardon me, Timoth. Sorry. Are you here, Timoth? Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, let me read it.
So who should let go first? The man or the woman when there's a disagreement?
Actually, yeah, for my side, I think love is a mutual connection. So when you're talking about when the both parties, that means a man and a woman, are in conflict, and each of the party want to separate or to get away of it, I think the best thing to do, or the good act to do at that situation, because I think I have ever come across with that kind of situation when I was dating to a certain girl, and actually things actually fall apart, and it was like, it's okay, you have to take your way and I have to take mine. So I think, but we had a mutual compromise, we understood ourselves and we understood our values. So because until now we are both friends and not lovers again. I think it's very important to create peace when there's a falling apart between the two parties. So it doesn't matter who is actually going the first, but at the end, you guys must still be at that peace that you had when you were dating.
Okay, awesome. Tapelo, your thoughts, please.
Okay.
Who should go first?
With
Who should
me,
surrender?
oh, okay. I work a little bit different, right? The way I, how can I put this? I deal with conflict and the way I deal with problems, right? I'm very, I'm not an emotional person. I think I've said this already, but I'm not a very emotional person. And everything that I say and every standpoint that I come from comes from a very logical standpoint. I will never I have a rule that I don't make decisions when I'm feeling emotional. I don't make emotional decisions because I know the impact, and I know how after you've made that sort of a decision, you might come to regret it later. So I always make it a point to calm down, assess the situation, view what my partner is saying. And if I still don't agree, which is in my previous relationship a lot of the time, I make it a point to bring the facts of the situation, because I'll then let my partner know that leave your emotions out of this argument, right? Well, we're talking from, because we need to move forward from this, right? So we need to make a decision that is, or reach a compromise that is well thought out and not based on emotions. Because I have this belief that emotions tend to cloud judgment sometimes, reasonable judgment. So let's rather maybe take a step back, think about our responses, and then come put our arguments on the table. And if we then still cannot reach a compromise, most of the time I tend to it's fine. I will be the one to compromise, but sometimes that's not the case. I will then I don't know. I just really believe in not a good debate, but a good debate. And also I'd also prefers to maybe pray about it, because I know if I'm right, my God will defend me. It's happened before. So I know that it will come to a place where you are kind of convicted, or you have a shift of mindset, and then when you speak about it tomorrow, you're like, oh no, it's fine. I don't know what came over me. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. So I believe in taking a step back, maybe viewing it from a different standpoint. I mean, I think this is where also it's important to have godly counsel, maybe an elder couple that has the same belief system as you guys, that you can maybe approach, or maybe people that are in the church, maybe your pastor or someone, but someone that is very knowledgeable and wise, that you believe is knowledgeable and wise, and maybe get an outside perspective to the situation, because sometimes there will be times where we butt heads and we just can't reach a compromise. Let's then maybe get somebody else that's neutral. Then we lay everything on the table, and then maybe we let them kind of shed some fresh light on the situation. Then we can maybe reach a consensus and a decision as to what we're doing.
Awesome. So just to add to what you guys have already said, in my case, I'm married. I've not been married for too long, for 5 years. I don't know if that counts, but if that counts as too long. But I'll just say, from my perspective, why do I need to be right? Like, love wanteth not itself. That's one of the characteristics of love. I don't care who's right. So somebody once told me, do you want to be right, or do you want to move forward? Do you want to be right, or do you want to keep the peace? So just to answer that question, I know it's not my question, but just from my perspective, well, anybody, I don't mind. Anybody can be wrong. Anybody can be right. It doesn't matter. I can just relinquish to my partner and say, okay, fine, let's see. Let's do it your way. And if we fail, I'm the first to laugh. But at the end of the day, after laughing, I realized that, okay, the decision affects both of us. Nobody has to be right or wrong. So just based on biblical principles, just from my perspective, no one has to be right. So if the matter is dragging for too long, I'll just relinquish to my partner and just trust God to come through for us in that situation and hope for the best, basically. So that's my thoughts. So someone wants to make a contribution. it is Raisa. Raisa, please go ahead. You can unmute your mic. Raisa, are you there? Okay, so we can move to the next question since Raisa is not available now. We'll come back to you. So just reading, I have a question to Brother Timothy. Okay, yes, both parties conflicts, we just handle that. Money like love isn't, sorry, give me a second. Did I miss something? Okay, so I have a question. Conflicts, yes. Money, love is a necessity in any relationship. The generation, I think there was a question about why is money and love such an issue in a relationship. I don't see the question now, but I think there was a question like that. Money like love is a necessity in any relationship, but the issue with this generation is that it becomes more prioritized, that love making the aspect of. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't get that question. If you can please just rewrite the question so that I understand the question. So another question here. Sorry? Anita, do you have a question? Okay, she's muted back. Okay, so the next question here is for the next question here is, how do you deal with a man? This is directed at Michael and Josh. How do you deal with a man who doesn't accept when he is wrong and doesn't give you a chance to speak up for yourself when there's an issue? Michael, how do you deal with someone who never accepts they are wrong and, doesn't give you a chance to speak up for yourself when there's an issue?
That's actually a really good question, and I feel like it expresses the experience of a good percentage of women in relationships.
Yes.
Okay. My short answer will be that you should not deal with such a person. A person that cannot admit they are wrong is someone whom you cannot negotiate with. And it will amaze you how much of relationships is negotiation. I don't mean sitting at the table and saying, no, I'm buying this for $5, I'm buying it for $10. I mean just discussing things and reaching a compromise. There's so much of that happens in a relationship because it's two people who have different backgrounds, different perspectives of life that are coming together to try to make a relationship work, which means there are topics on which they are not going to agree. Right? This is sort of piggybacks of the last question. So there are topics on which you are not going to agree. Some of those topics might be irrelevant, like I like Drake and you like Kendrick Lamar. It's irrelevant. That should not destroy a relationship. If you have such a conflict and your relationships at stake over something that small, then you are maybe in a bigger problem than you originally thought. But there are more consequential types of conflicts about, like, maybe what should we do with this money, right? And if you are with a partner who has never given you an ear, doesn't listen, doesn't even let you speak, that is not a good relationship at all. And there is no remedy for such a thing. This is not human plot. There's no way to fix this. There is no recipe. There's no solution. There's no advice I can give you. There's no scripture I can give you that you can pray with and the man will be fixed. Right? The answer here is you need to usher your way out of the place. Because being in a place where you're not heard, that is not a place where you can grow. The first part, the first and most important thing in the relationship is to be heard. Once you're heard, then you can make progress. So, that's my 2 cents on it.
Awesome, thank you. Because of time, we cannot allow 2 people to answer one question. But let me take Natizia. Can you pronounce your name when you unmute your mic so that I know I know how to pronounce it next time? Please go ahead and ask your question.
Please come and take.
Natazia, are you here?
Yes, hi.
Hi, go ahead.
Nataisia is my name.
Okay, I got that right.
Yeah, so thank you so much for allowing me to ask my question. I have two questions directed to Tapelo and Josh. The first one being, do you think, since the topic or the theme topic for this discussion is what a healthy love should look like, right? And so I'm asking, do you think vulnerability, or what are your perspectives on vulnerability as a man? Since it's very hard or maybe society, should I say society puts it to say a man shouldn't be vulnerable enough to their lady because they'll be looked at as being weak. So what do you view vulnerability in a relationship being? The second question being, what are your perspectives on sex before marriage, looking at our generation where non-sexual touches are not viewed as love anymore in most cases? Thank you so much.
All right. So because of time, we would have one person answer one question and the other person answer the other. So Josh, can you please answer the question on vulnerability? I know we talked about it earlier, but what do you think, what role do you think vulnerability plays for men in a healthy kind of love? And then Tapelo, you can go ahead to answer the question about sex before marriage. Over to you, Josh.
Okay, so the network was performing earlier, so you tell me if you're able to hear me clearly and smoothly.
Yes, we can.
Okay, so vulnerability for men in relationships is not something that happens often, but it I want to say it should happen in a relationship, and I want it this is a call to action for women to strive to be a safe place for your man. I would tell you one thing: if your man feels very secure with you, and they know that you have their back, at least for me personally, I know that as a man, I will be able to open up and I'll be vulnerable to my woman. Context, Luce, Luce, I have a friend called Luce. She's Nataisa's friend, and she's always wanted to see a man cry. And because I've reached a point with our relationship where I can be vulnerable with her and I can trust her. I've been able to be vulnerable, and yeah, I've cried in front of her because she's given me a safe space, and so that's for women to be a safe space for their men, and then a man will eventually open up. And vulnerability is very important for a man because men tend to bottle up a lot of things. So if your man is able to open up and just let loose, then that's a very good thing, and that should happen.
Awesome. Tapelo, over to you. Sex before marriage. We know you're a man of God, so we already know what you're going to say, but go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that I got this particular question because it really is quite a sensitive topic, and I genuinely don't believe like it should be, but it is, because if we read our Bibles, it's pretty clear on where God stands with that. And now I'm glad that you mentioned society, because there's a lot of pressure from society for you to engage in that kind of intimacy, if I can put it like that. And I heard this quote, this guy said that the hole that you fill with sex it will never satisfy you, because that's a hole only God can fill. It's only your intimacy with God can fill that longing, that want, that need that you have So it's pretty clear where God stands, and it's going to have to come to a place where reverence for God or fear for God comes into place, where you have to stand on what God has said and what God wants for you, because the Bible does say that sexual sin is the only sin that you harm against your body, against yourself. So it carries a lot of things. It carries soul ties, and soul ties is a very broad aspect because it carries a lot of things. It carries generational curses. You don't know what the other person is carrying, what they're dealing with. You now put that on yourself. It's a very broad topic, but it's very sensitive in a sense of you don't want to fight battles God never intended you to fight. And that's what sexual sin does to you. So it's better to refrain. Rather, if he's pressuring you to get that intimate with him, then you already know that he's not the man for you. A man of God or a man that is truly after your heart would never force you into a position where you have to compromise your morals and your values. So I think that's just my take. That's just the tip of the iceberg on my take on this topic.
Awesome. We have two final questions before we go. We're going to be done in the next 5 minutes, so please bear with us. So the first question, which I'd like Timoth to answer, is from Digna, and it says, why does it look like most relationships are currently focused on money than love, right? And then the last question is from Smart, and it says, is it possible for a man to submit to God, have the fear of God, and still not be the best man in areas like respecting his woman, committing, showing kindness, and all of that? So I will let Tapelo answer that because he had volunteered to, he had requested that he answered the question. So Timoth and Tapelo, thank you. Please go ahead. We'll start with Timoth, please.
Okay. Thank you again. Actually, from the question, it really seemed that that relationship was based on material things. And actually it's what is happening right now, because most of the relationship ends up because a man cannot provide, because we are looked in a picture that we are supposed to provide for our girls or women. So I think we need to change such kind of stereotypes, and because I think this Love Roundtable aims to create something which is healthy and sustainable, and it tries to prevent or inhibit those kind of negative thoughts that are circulating in our minds, that without money, there's no love. Actually, we can love without even having money. If you can consider even our ancestors before, there was not even the era where there was no money. People were living healthy, happily, and they were loving one another. So I think it's a challenge, and as I think as you guys are empowering women, I think it must be a thing that you must also tell them that if your man is lacking, doesn't mean you have to leave him or find another one just because he hasn't provided you with money, or just for makeup, or just going for salon, taking you out. So I think we really need to change our minds, because that is based on someone perceives. So we cannot prevent it just by physical means, but we actually need to change our mind. We need to say it again. We need to have that good mindset towards health kind of love. Thank you.
Thank you, Timoth. This particular question about material things, we can go on and on about it, but for want of time, we might not be able to delve into that. So let's just answer the last question from Tapelo. Tapelo, please go ahead and answer the question relating to a man being right for you. I'm sure you already know the question. Go ahead, please.
Yes. And my opening statement to your question, that it's impossible, right? It's not possible for a man to submit to God and have a fear for God and still not be his best self. It doesn't happen, because you cannot encounter God and stay the same, right? That's what they teach us. So if he's failing to respect you or to meet you where you want him to meet you, or what we feel is necessary in a relationship, like respect and kindness, then that man has not encountered God. Well, not the God that I know. So it just comes down to his relationship with God. Does he know the God of the Bible, the one that we read about? Has he encountered him, or is it just he's Christian by name? Because you cannot have a fear for God and know God and not have these, what are these are fruits of the Spirit, right? These are the characteristics that a man that is rooted in God is supposed to have. They're supposed to exhibit these characteristics. So if they don't, then it's a clear indication that he does not have a deep enough understanding of who God is and what it means to walk with God. So I think that's the simplest way that I can answer your question, that it just does not happen. Thank you.
Okay. Michael, do you have a contrary opinion? Or do you want to support his thoughts on this? What's that smile?
So I'm not going to phrase it as a contrary opinion. What I would say is this: God is perfect, but only God is perfect. All men work towards perfection through the strengthening of the Holy Spirit, which means if you walk towards perfection, I mean, you may falter at some point in time, which is why forgiveness exists. However, if a man is upright in his walk with God, you can tell. So even if said man makes a couple of mistakes in his relationship with you, because again, as I said earlier, it's God that's perfect. We are men, and men are fallible. It does not matter what type of man of God you think he is. Men are fallible. All men have made mistakes. Even if you look as far back as the Bible, we talk about Moses, talk about Elijah. There's at least one mistake they made that cost them something. So we can allow some leeway, right? What we cannot be confused about is if a person is actually walking with God, because if they are walking with God, like my brother has said, they are fruits of the Spirit that they will manifest. The only thing I want to contribute here is if you are able to identify that this brother is walking with God and is doing his best to follow God, then if this brother makes a mistake, you should be able to, through the empowering of the Holy Spirit, extend forgiveness towards the brother. Have a conversation about that mistake. The brother who clearly is working with God is humble enough to identify his mistake, ask for forgiveness about that mistake, and make sure that that mistake does not happen again. But I just want to contest the notion that a brother will be perfect in every single way just because they work. I know that that's not the message that my brother was passing across, but I just wanted to make sure that there's no confusion here. So that's the thing I wanted to say. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And just to add to that, so a person can know God, but has not developed self, right? So that person might know God, might be, might love God, but while you're loving God and serving God, there are other aspects of yourself that you need to develop, like you need to develop emotional intelligence. You may not necessarily get emotional intelligence because you're serving God, right? You need to seek knowledge, right? So I think that to answer that question, is it possible for a man to submit to God, have the fear of God, and still not be the best man in areas like respecting women? Okay, so in terms of kindness, respecting women, of course, if he's a child of God, he's a fruit of the Spirit. Yes, I see what Tapelo is saying, but there are other things that he may not have developed, right? And he may need to work on, right? So and the other point I wanted to make is that not every man of God is the right man for you, right? So I don't know if that's the question this Smart was trying to ask, but not every good person is a good fit for you, and not every man of God is the right fit for you, and not every Christian is the right person for you. So I just wanted to to clarify that. Okay, so I wish we had more time because I really wanted us to network and get to know each other and probably just drop our email addresses. But I think we can do that with the few minutes that we have while I say thank you to all of the speakers, Michael, Tapelo, Timoth, Kelechi, Josh. I'm so grateful to you for making our time to have this conversation with us. If you do not mind, kindly drop your email addresses. I know phone number might be too personal, but if you can drop your email addresses in the chat box or your Instagram addresses so that people can contact you if they want to and probably further the conversation via chat. And thank you to everyone for coming. We started at about 35 people. We're now at 14 because I know that a lot of people had things. It's rush hour, right? It's rush hour, right? So people were at home trying to get ready. So I know a lot of people could not spend all of the time, but I'm grateful to everyone who waited, who stayed to the end. Thank you. And if you're interested in joining Yewa, all you have to do is send an email to this email that I'm dropping on the chat box. We might not have a lot of time to talk about what Yewa is and why you should join, but I'm just going to leave the email address in the chat room. So if you'd like to be a part of the community of young enterprising women in Africa, you can just send an email to this email address that I'm dropping in the chat box. Well, thank you. Thank you, everybody. And good night. Good night. Have a good night. Can you unmute your mic and just tell me have a good night back, right? See if I...
Night.
Good night. Good night.
Thank you. Have a good night, everyone. I'm so grateful for your presence. Thank you. Good night. Bye.